Picture this. It's 1814 in London. The streets are buzzing and everything seems normal, until suddenly beer starts pouring down like a river. It sounds crazy, right? But that's exactly what happened. Welcome to the strange, wild, and very real story of the London beer flood. Trust me, you're going to want to stick around for this one. Before we get started, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and ring that bell icon so you never miss out on more insane historical events. Now let's travel back to 1814. The city of London was already known for its vibrant beer culture, and one of the biggest breweries in town was the Mew & Company Brewery. This brewery was massive, and it had huge vats, really huge vats, holding thousands of gallons of beer just waiting to be bottled and shipped out. But on October 17, 1814, something went horribly wrong. One of the brewery's giant vats, measuring 22 feet tall, suddenly ruptured. And just like that, around 350,000 gallons of beer came pouring out into the streets of London. Imagine the chaos. As the beer flooded the streets, people were caught completely off guard. The flood didn't just damage property, it actually destroyed buildings and wreaked havoc across the area. Homes were flooded, pubs were flooded, and there was even a church that was affected. But the chaos didn't end there. Now you'd think, hey, free beer, right? Well, it wasn't quite the party people expected. The beer came rushing down at such a force that it knocked over walls, barrels, and everything in its path. The flood was so intense that it actually led to the deaths of several people. Some people drowned, others were injured, and the entire area was thrown into panic. Imagine trying to run away from a flood of beer. It sounds like a joke, but it was a real disaster. So what happened next? Well, the cleanup was no easy task. It took a while to drain the streets and get rid of the massive beer puddles that spread across the neighborhood. The brewery, of course, had to pay for the damages, but the event had long-lasting effects. Locals and visitors who were in the area also had their own chaotic reactions. Some tried to drink the beer, seeing it as a free, albeit dangerous opportunity to get drunk. But tragically, the combination of the flood and the sheer amount of alcohol contributed to several deaths. Some of the victims reportedly drowned in the beer itself. Even though it was a horrible event, the London beer flood became famous and was widely covered in the press. It wasn't long before people started talking about this crazy disaster as part of London's history. While it was certainly a disaster, the London beer flood still holds a special place in history. It highlighted the dangers of poorly maintained industrial equipment, as the vat that ruptured was over 100 years old. The brewery later faced some scrutiny for not keeping their vats in better condition. In the end, the Moy Brewery did continue to operate for a while, but the event was a reminder of the potential risks associated with large-scale industrial production. Interestingly enough, the flood led to changes in safety regulations in the brewing industry, making it clear that even beer could be a serious danger when things went wrong. Now let's lighten things up with some fun facts about this unbelievable event. First off, did you know that the amount of beer that flooded the streets could have filled over 150,000 kegs? That's a lot of beer. Second, this event didn't just make history books, it made its way into pop culture. The beer flood has been referenced in songs, books, and even documentaries. People still can't believe that something like this actually happened. And finally, there's a dark humor around the event. The flood was so intense that some people joked it was like an all-you-can-drink festival. But of course, the reality was tragic for those who lost their lives that day. So what do you think? If you were there during the London beer flood, what would you have done? Would you have tried to drink some of that free beer, or would you have run for your life? Let me know in the comments below. I'm curious to hear your thoughts. And if you enjoyed this crazy story, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that bell icon so you never miss another wild story from history. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned for more mind-melting tales.